All right, welcome everybody to the All Markets webinar. This is Bruce at Bookmap, and we're going to be going through the live order flow. Welcome everybody in the marketplace, and read the order flow, understand the auction process, the buyers, the sellers, both passive and aggressive, and market structure. These three elements really is what it's all about. And if we can start to understand it well, then we can look for where price might be going next, and that is what is the advantage with order flow. Let's go through a couple disclosures, just take about 30 seconds, and then we'll get into the live markets. General disclosure: all Bookmap Ltd materials, information, and presentations are for educational purposes only and should not be considered specific investment advice nor recommendations. Risk disclosure: trading futures, equities, and digital currencies involves substantial risk of loss and is not suitable for all investors. Past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results. One more thing, we have a Bookmap onboarding webinar every Tuesday at 2 p.m. East Coast time. It is on our calendar. If you're interested to go to that, go to bookmap.com and go to education up here. And then this is our learning center. There's all sorts of videos and things in here, but our calendar is just below it here. And you'll see it in here, right here. And you can register on Zoom. It's also going to be in our Discord channel. All right, so it's for new traders, new to Bookmap, get you to download, run Bookmap, and connect to data. All right. Okay, let's jump in. Let's take a look at these markets. We just had some data this morning at 10 a.m. We had the PPI here, so flash manufacturing, and well, I mean, nice move to the downside, but it came right back up and it's just chopping within that zone now. So that's the data that came in, and yeah, the number was a little mixed here. I mean, we got the flash services and flash manufacturing, so a little bit less than expected on the flash PMI. Anyway, we can also see a pretty big down move here. All right, so this is where we're going to start off with understanding the bigger picture here, which is so vital to understand, and then we can really zoom in and look at the order flow within that bigger picture. All right, so I've got a version of Bookmap that shows that bigger picture, and you guys will have access to it pretty soon. If I zoom out here, you can see that I can go back quite a ways here, which is awesome. This is 2022. And then you can see 23, 24 move to the upside here, and here we are in 2025. And the space in between here is the weekends. All right, so each area in here is an entire week of order flow. And this is what we're reading in here. We see that we read this break of it, and some weeks ago, God, maybe it was another break that we're looking at. Yeah, it was this breakdown here that we read. So we were looking for it to go north all week long, and you can see how choppy it is in here. And we've got another channel now in here. So you know, we can take a look at yeah, this channel, and kind of turned into another channel here. And people are not really buying the higher highs. Okay, that's what we're taking away from this. It's going up here, but then they're not buying. And we're seeing quite a bit of selling come in the last few days, especially. And this is what we want to understand in the bigger picture. Okay, we'll apply this to the candlesticks as well. Here we see the move to the downside from yesterday, and we see the move right back up, chops around, but again, sellers in control now. They're moving the market lower. Okay, we can see it. This is you know, the last few days of order flow, and we're down at the lows of the day here right now. We're going to find some buyers, and we'll probably chop around, but I'm still looking for it to break. Okay, we made a lower high here, and I'm looking to make a lower low here today. Okay, so we want to be careful at these levels though. because we've already come down here, and we don't want to get trapped in this and have it squeeze against us. And that happens just about this time of day during this webinar. We know the trend is down, but a lot of times we see the reversal take place during this webinar around 10 to 11, something like that. And then later in the afternoon, you get that trend continuation. So we want to be really careful about that. Like right now, you can see it traded back down here, but we're starting to see buyers come back in. Okay, so this is what we're going to read in here in terms of the market structure and supply and demand. We've been covering supply and demand in two different types. One is the very easy one, is the passive orders. And these are limit buy orders down below, and they're limit sell orders above. We're going to jump into the TraderMap Pro or TraderMap Lite version, so get rid of this algo or this bot in here. Let's see. This was one of the questions actually in the chat, All Markets chat, regarding PMAG. I think you had asked about it. So yeah, that's why we want to get rid of it, because look how it's blowing out the heat map in here. Now, if I go over to TraderMap Pro or TraderMap Lite, which is free, right? You see how we remove that algo? Okay, some really good programming in here, coding, and we can remove it away. Now, there's still be remnants of it in here, but you can see how nicely it took it away. And now we can read into the liquidity here much better. Okay, we traded into here, traded in again, totally absorbed. This is absorption, and we do not see sellers getting through this area down here. In fact, we can see that actually nothing, not even one contract traded down here. All right, and then now we see the move away. Okay, so this is exactly what you would think. Well, sellers are coming back down. We're looking to push the through the bottom edge here and come back down into maybe 6,100, the figure down here. You will likely get there, but not right now. All right, so we're seeing the squeeze to the upside or a move back up into the range in here, other side of the range. Anyway, let's see, Leah. Does the MBO bundle indicator work on repo mode? Yep, sure does. In fact, we're trying to get it to work for all products. Yeah, it's anyway. More on that later. Good morning, Trading is Life. Really nice session with you yesterday in the Bookmap Academy, and good discussion there. Yeah, good morning, everybody. Alois, Stephen, yeah, Trading is Life, and others. All right. All right, so anyway, so we're still kind of going through the bigger picture here, and what we're looking at. We're looking for in the this version of Bookmap here. The bigger picture is the move to the downside, right? See, we can zoom out like this, and we know they're really not buying the higher highs in here, and we're not looking for a breakout. So we're looking, actually, we can see it in here for the last couple of days, the sellers coming in and moving this lower. So I would look for a break of the lows and the move down into 6,100 or a little bit below 6,100. Heck, we don't know. I mean, we might see a really big down day back down into some of these swings down here. There is liquidity down here at 60, 60 or somewhere in that zone down in here. All right, so that's the bigger picture. Let's actually look at the candlesticks as well for the bigger picture. Okay, this is the daily chart over here on the left, hourly in the middle, and the 15-minute on right hand side. So here's our daily, here's our move to the downside. We have not come back down and retested yesterday's low. So it's going to be choppy or some back and forth before I think we get there. And then you can see we can very easily trade back down into some of these other areas. And here we see big long wicks, so we know that buyers were coming in these areas here. But we're likely, if the sellers pick up in here, this is where they're going to test, is back down into probably, yeah, 60-50 or so. Looks pretty good. 60-60, somewhere around in there. All right, hourly chart. Yeah, you can see us kind of flirting with these lows here. We haven't gotten there yet. Yeah, next move, we got another little level right in here where we broke out from. Okay, so if you can see the structure I'm talking about here, hold on. It is this. So this little kind of consolidation, and then we see a wick and then a breakout. Okay, so this could be another area in here, and that was 60.87 or so. Okay, this could pan out really nicely, actually, as a measured move from swing, pull back, and swing into this area in here. So we're just kind of getting lay of the land here, and our expectations, or just get a feel for where buyers and sellers might be. Then we'll look at Bookmap to get that information directly. Okay. All right. So let's jump back into our Trader Map Pro version here. Okay. And yeah, still kind of chopping around in this zone here. So let's put some market structure on this. This would be the kind of the next thing we want to do, is look at market structure. It's so important. Bigger picture and direction and market structure on kind of a more medium term time frame, and what we think is going on in here. So we've broken this and we've come up to the swing up in here, but we haven't broken above it. We're looking for the test down to here and the potential break. So that's the 61.05 right now. So we're going to look for order flow in here to support some of that idea. Okay. Yeah. Something I wanted to mention about. Oh, Shark, I gave you the stops and icebergs, so you should have access to it. I think you will need to restart your Bookmap, so just keep that in mind. You'll lose your MBO data. Yeah, and Shark, actually, you kind of inspired me yesterday in the Academy meeting to look for multiple 1, 2, 3 patterns on much lower time frames in here, because you see it all the time. Like right now, I think you got your 1, 2, and 3 here, and let's see where these buyers can take it. They've already come up to here, so I think it might be kind of done, but maybe they can move it a little bit higher here. Okay. And you can see a little 1, 2, 3 pattern in here as well. And where would they take it? They would take it back down to about here, where those sellers or buyers came in. That move's already unfolded. So there's a retest. Anyway, just a thought there. There was another question earlier from Scout asking about, I don't know if you're in here, Scout, but really you're talking about context and liquidity. So like right now, if we take a look at this and start to understand how does it work in liquidity in the marketplace? Well, I mean, the market has to have buyers and sellers. Okay? Now, there's two different kinds of buyers and sellers. There's passive and there's aggressive. Okay? The aggressive one, let's just dim the heat map for the moment. The aggressive one is here in the volume dots. This is what makes price move. Okay, these are aggressive buyers. They will sweep the a price level or the order book if they have more buying pressure than there is passive sellers, and they will move to the next price level. That's how price moves. So they are the ones that move it. Now, the passive orders, so these green dots are market buy orders moving price higher, lifting the offer, and red dots are market sell orders hitting the bid and making price move lower. All right, so but who are they trading with? That's the other side, and that's the passive orders, and that's what's shown in Bookmap in the liquidity heat map. Okay, so these are where the buyers are down here. You can see it, the scale of the heat map: red and orange, very high liquidity; yellow, white, blue, and black is the least amount. So these buyers came in here, and now this is all derived from the order book. Okay, your dome, and you can see though in Bookmap, well, you see 106 orders here in the current market, 105, 106, this 107.50. But in Bookmap, we record it in the heat map, and then we can see exactly when they came in, right? And that's where you can start to understand now this context here. They are here. The buyers are here. The question is, in the context, do sellers want to make the transaction with these buyers here? And here they come. Okay, so let's see if they can charge after this liquidity down here. Okay, and try to make the transactions here. And maybe if they have more selling pressure, they can also trade down to this 105, 106 area down here, 105. Okay, so it looks pretty good. Here they come, and I see more sellers here, and there's just more selling pressure. This is where the buyers are. Okay, so that's what we're looking for. It's a little more convoluted. If it was easy as that all the time, we'd all be, multimillionaires. There's little swings in here, so there's going to be probably some back and forth in here, but maybe not, right? And that's where the markets get kind of complex. But it's what we had covered earlier is very simple. These are where the buyers are. We didn't know here at this point, do the sellers want to trade down there? And then we started to see them. And it's like, okay, there seems to be quite a bit of selling here. Okay? You can just look at it graphically and understand the size and color of these dots. This is where the buyers are. Can they reach the buyers and make the transaction? And that's how this can help you. All right, so I hope that helps. You had looked at or shown this image here, which might have been from Charles, I think you said, but an okay short and a bad short, I wouldn't say that. And a risky long, I wouldn't. It depends on all sorts of things in here, on your time frame, etc. But again, very, very simply, let's just take a look at this. This is where the sellers are. Okay, and you've got all these X's in here, so it's kind of hard to see the aggressors in here and what's going on. But we know that these buyers never even transacted with these sellers up here, right? We don't see them move into it, so they don't have the appetite for it. There's not enough buying pressure. That's why we come back down, and then we go low enough down here to start to find some buyers. Typically, we trade into high liquidity down here. And you find the passive buyers in here. Okay, they're probably in here. We probably didn't see them, but you can see some coming in here, kind of pushing on the order book. And then we get these green dots, and they come up into this liquidity up in here. It's a little bit more faint. But you can see it in here, and they do not make it up into this area up in here. And then we look for the aggressive sellers, just like we were earlier in the current market. Okay, and now we have our answer in here. Look at the sellers, and not only traded into 107, we said the next level is a 105. They've traded into that. So now these transactions have taken place. Okay, now look, I'm going to actually even demo this as a. No, I'm not going to actually as a position. I want to demo something else beforehand. But guys, this is something in the academy. Like we'll do more and more off this. We've just seen it so much in the content, and we know after these transactions take place, like buyers meet the sellers, we chop for a bit, typically. Okay, we may even get reversals in those areas. It really depends on the context between the aggressors and the passive orders here. Okay, so we are chopping around right now, and this is what we would assume would unfold. Okay, because of the transaction was made in here. Transactions were made in here. Right, so I'm not looking for going short right now. I'm actually looking for maybe a pullback into this 107.5 up here, where we broke down from. Okay, so you can see even the chop in here. Look at this structure here. Okay, so this is where we got a pullback here. This is where you just can't make up this stuff. And this is talking about how to add in microstructure understanding within your trading, and this will be a benefit for sellers. A bit of a rest after trading into some of that liquidity. Sellers into high liquidity, pull back to this little area in here. This is like a little tiny flag pattern in here, and we come back up, retest it, and now the question is, in this structure, this new structure, can buyers get back up above it? If they can, this is where I'd look for it to go, or maybe they can even get back up into here. Okay, but these are great little areas to understand order flow. If you start to see less buying and exhaustion and more selling starting to pick up, then we're looking for a retest to the low or lower. Okay, and that's exactly what we got. Okay, that's exactly what unfolded in here. Okay, so these little areas in here are worthy of study to make put into your trading plan. To start to understand an edge for yourself. Okay, so we're looking for the move to here, then down to here, or even lower. Okay, we didn't get into 6100 yet, but you can see now we traded into this liquidity here, and now we're in a new range. Okay, now this is more bullish here, this range, right? Okay, so we just know that because we can look at it here and we see selling came in, hit this liquidity, buyers came right back immediately, back up into here. Okay, and even back up above it here. Okay, this is how you can also look at putting a trade management plan together. Okay, because take some off down in some of these areas in here. What's your expectation? What's your time frame for trading? And if this is the structure you're looking at on this time frame, then this would be your target. And maybe you can have one for a runner in here, but this would be at least your first target. And you could even like maybe front run by a tick or two. Okay. Now we see this structure made sense and this move made sense. Okay, to the downside. Now we're looking at this little move in here, and we would we see that we traded into these levels, and then we see a lot of buying starting to come back in. So they broke that structure here, and we're able to trade back up into here. Okay, and we see them kind of get above again, but then we found sellers up here, and now they moved it back down and made a lower low. Okay, so starting to understand the order flow within these structures in here is critical. Okay, and it will offer you that edge. Okay, again, same type of thing. So now we're really chopping around in here because we see again more sellers, and they're still in control. But look at the buyers come back in immediately, right? So now I'm kind of curious to see if we can bounce off of this area. We found buyers in here. No, we're not. We're seeing more selling pressure, so we're going lower. Okay, so there we go. All right. All right, so we got into the minutia in here. And again, you can also just look at bigger picture structure here. Okay, so this is how you can start to add it into your bigger picture. And this is not such a big picture either. It's just from the last like 10 or 15 minutes or so. way. It's all fractal. These same kinds of structure show up time and again. All right, let me see if there's any questions. Why do red signals repeat? Not sure what you mean. This little red dot in here, these are stop transactions. So this is a stop run and another stop run. Okay. Now we're down below the figure, and there's still more selling pressure. Okay, trading into this liquidity and now this liquidity. We're just about to. Now this is something we've seen, time and again as well. We went below the big figure here in this area. I am looking to see if we see a ton of selling coming in, we would look for the move away. Typically, we look for a move back and retest the figure here, and we may even get back up above it and we get a reversal. So anyone who sold in here be getting stopped out on the way back up. Okay, they're like, everyone's kind of thinking maybe we get down below 6,100. I'm a seller, and that's what we're looking for. Okay, Masood, I hope I answered your question. These are stop transactions. This is part of our MBO bundle of indicators. We can show not only stop transactions, but also iceberg transactions. Here's an iceberg right in the market right now. They've transacted 7, as you can see. So this is a larger player. It's hidden. We don't know how much is behind this iceberg. And Jan, you will not get access to gold futures for the free plan. You will need to subscribe to it. Okay, you might want to come to the onboarding webinar on Tuesday. And we could go through that. But yeah, you will need to subscribe to Bookmap data for, if you just trade gold, then it would be just the COMEX exchange. Okay, or if you want to look at all futures, then you would get the MBO bundle, CME group bundle, which I think is $80 or so. I think it's quite a good deal compared to other data providers out there. Okay, now that cost is on top of the subscription to Bookmap. All right. Okay, so look at this. Look at the buyers come back in now, okay, trying to pull away from this 96 area here, and then here's our retest that we were looking for. Okay, now the question now is how much demand is there by the aggressors here? Okay, are they able to? You can see them come in and they little cluster here of buying, retest already. Are they going to buy more? Let's take a look, and let's see if they can come back up to 6,100 and a half, and then maybe even break it. Yeah, here they come. All right, I'm looking for them to trade up to here, and let's see if they can break it and get maybe back up into where would we go? Maybe back up into about 03 or so, something like that. Oh, there you go. Okay, thanks, Scout. Yeah, you put in the actual image here. Yeah, so let's take a look at this quickly in here. Look at the delta bars down here and the delta dots in here compared to this liquidity. That is the context we want to understand. Okay, now we can see more buyers in here, but do we see a lot of buyers up in here? Some, but we also see some selling in here. And we have high liquidity here and also above. So and these guys came in. When did they come in? That's another crucial piece of or clues or understanding in the order flow. They came in as prices coming up toward them. So they want to be sellers at these lower areas in here. Now the buyers transact into this area here, and then we don't find any more buyers. Sellers come back in, and they come back down to where these buyers came in, and a little bit lower. They actually made a lower low here. So now we're actually seeing it. We don't have much in structure to take a look at here, but you can see they came into here, and then now we're finding buyers. And where are they going to go? Well, next area of liquidity probably up in here or back to up in here. And we don't see them trade up in here. We're making actually a lower high, and look at the buying here. Here's great context. So this is like a mini double top within a bigger double top here. They can't even make an equal high. They're making a lower high, and we do not see any buying. We see very little buying on this peak, and then on this one here, very little or none. And we start to see some sellers and look for a test back down to here and maybe break the structure because they've broken it already here, and we're making a lower high. So looking for lower highs and lower lows in here. All right, I hope that makes sense, but it's understanding these between buyers and sellers in here, and it's really it's context is what we want to understand. All right, a lot of questions in here today. It's good to see. Yeah, thank you, Alois and Stephen. Okay, I think we're caught up. Okay, so that was pretty short-lived in here on this move back up. We thought maybe we'd get a better squeeze than that, like a little flag pattern in here, like market pulls away, pull back, and then buyers. And this happens so often as well. We did get some buyers up in here, but they failed to go higher. And this is a little bit harder to read. There's not much exhaustion in here. Usually we look for either could be a delta divergence, or you'd see it also in the dots in here. It just kind of looks like it was just kind of chopping around, and then sellers came in and did move. Okay, so we have a new structure now. Okay, from this point on, now buyers have already come back and retested it here as well. This typically again, like, just start to put the pieces together in here. We trade into high liquidity in these lower levels in here. So these sellers met the buyers, and we typically look for a pause in the downtrend and the pullback. We got it. Okay. So now what we're going to look for in terms of we're going to look for now a potential reversal. Okay, we're in a pretty strong downtrend here. Okay, but this is how we start to look for the reversal. Is we look for these small structures to break like it did, but this failed here, come back down. Okay, now we trade into high liquidity in here. Now look at the buying coming in here now. Okay, let's look at the context of the buyers and sellers. These buyers in here starting to pick up a little bit. Okay, still more selling, but they're starting to pick up. Some clusters of buying in here. They didn't make an equal high here either. Okay, we made a lower low and a lower high. So sellers still in control. Okay, we're starting to note these clusters in here, here, and here. Okay, and this is where you start to understand maybe some of Wyckoff's principles on accumulation and distribution. Okay, so this is the accumulation part in here. Okay, by the buyers. So what we're going to look for is the trend to break, which it already did, and now the trend to flatten out, which it is. Okay, so now the question is, can we get like an equal high here? Can we find buyers come back up into about this 6,100? basically. Now, this is where buyers came in previously. Hold on again, sorry. Okay, is there liquidity down here? Now, the aggressors came in here, but there's not really much liquidity down here. The liquidity is down lower, but we know these guys transacted. Right? So now the question is, are we getting enough buyers to take it back up to here? And we don't know that answer right now. And I don't see much right now. Okay, so I'm going to hold off and wait. I don't see anything that gives me really kind of higher probability here. But this is what we're looking for. I just don't see much buying right now. Okay, here they come. Now we're starting to see a bit more. Okay, and we're making that equal high here. Okay, so are we going to see this reversal? Okay, it's starting to pan out. It hasn't reversed whatsoever, but this is how it starts to evolve. Okay, now I'm looking for a pullback. Okay, so something like this in here. I like trend lines, but I just like putting in the market structure. So that's really what it's about here. It's not so much like I'm a trend line trader, but like I'd just like to outline the structure. Okay? You can also look at your volume profile, like high volume node right here. Maybe that's where we go. Now you can align that also with your structure, okay, with your trend line here. All right. Let's see. Sure, Cal. I mean, my settings for the TraderMap Pro version, you know, there's 3 settings on the TraderMap Lite, which you can play around with, and you'll probably get, you know, something pretty similar to what I've got in TraderMap Pro here. But my settings are you know, the same as they've been for, you know, several weeks now. So here it is here, and this one. And unfortunately, I forgot to put it up for NASDAQ. Here it is here. So I have a slider. It goes up to, you know, almost to the end here. So it's a pretty high filter. And it seems to be working well for me, so I'm just keeping it. All right, guys. See how, like, you know, we're, you know, not making this stuff up. We're onto something in here in this kind of shift and flow in buyers and sellers. We're bouncing off of this trend line here, but we need to see. We're not out of the woods whatsoever here. You know, we might have to come all the way back down here. We might even make a slightly lower low, and maybe it makes a kind of a double shoulder in here. We don't know, but we're looking at the context here between the buyers and sellers to give us that insight. Okay, so now if we start to get the next thing we're looking for now is yeah, maybe we can even look at a shark, like a small 1 2 3 pattern in here. It's kind of doing it right now. So I would be looking, if we can get buyers up at here, or maybe start to come in right here right now. Let's see if they can. Then I'd look for the move back up into 6,100. No, nothing happening yet. Anyway, we're kind of outlining this potential reversal here. All right, here they come now. Now we're starting to see a bit more, Now, can they trade up here? We can put like another kind of small structure in. We're looking for buyers up above here. And then we look for them to charge up to the high and the liquidity up here. There's 922 contracts up here. One larger player probably has, you know, 900 of them. That white line there. If you made a nickel for every time I say buyers and sellers, yep, that's probably right. You'd be a millionaire. It's all about that. I mean, look, how are the question to you, Scout? How are participants? How are traders participating in the markets? It's not a trick question or anything like that. I mean, just, how are they doing it? Now, this is, back in the day in the pits, it was totally different. Yeah, it could be a great drinking game. Anyway, they're doing it through orders. Orders make up the market. Okay, without orders, we don't have a market. That's that. And there's two different types of, typically there's just two different types of orders. There's more, but there's aggressive orders, which are the market buy and sell orders, and the passive orders, which is the liquidity. They're waiting to trade at specific price levels. Okay, our reversal totally failed in here, guys. We were looking for something particular. We did not get it. And now we can see the sellers picking up at the bottom edge in here and able to trade to the swing and lower. And now we've got a lower low here. Okay, and big stop runs all the way down. A lot of selling, coming into this market. Let's go back to our bigger picture. This was the area we were kind of looking for. Okay, so I am looking for something to kind of, I'm looking for some buyers to, and some covering at least, put it that way, in this area in here. So here's our break of the previous day's low and the move back down into this structure in here on the daily or here on the hourly. Okay, so yeah, I am looking for some covering and some buying to kind of retest back into the zone or range. Okay, and you can start to see the clusters coming in right now. All right, what was I going to or answer in through Trader Map Pro? Oh, yours looks pretty good, Cal. I mean, I wouldn't say, I mean, you can filter it higher. Yeah, I mean, if you're using Trader Map Lite, I can see here. So try one of the other filters, or just for kicks. See how it works for you. You've got 3 filters with the Trader Map Lite, and they're great. They're all great. It just depends on maybe the day. All right, I'm going to clear all my drawings, and I want to demo something for you guys, how to connect to our multi-account. Okay, so if you we've been demoing it a lot. I just want to go through it in a bit more detail because there's been a lot of questions about it lately. Okay, what exactly it is and how to connect to it. All right, so in the prop trading world, most of you guys that are trading are likely trading futures, and you're trading with Rithmic data. You're doing that because Rithmic offers an order management system with their paper trading. So anyone who wants to start up one of those businesses, all they have to do is connect to Rithmic. And it's not as easy as that, but it's perfect. It will take care of all of that. So all of them use Rithmic, right? And that's great. Rithmic is a great data provider. They offer market by order data. So does Bookmap data. We offer market by order data as well. So you might want to check that out. And then you can have two different ways of looking at the market with Bookmap data from the same instrument as your Rhythmic data from the same instrument. Okay, so anyway, so the first thing we want to do when connecting to the multi-account is to add a Rhythmic connection. So we'll go up to connections here, and then we're going to click on configure. And then I'm going to add a new connection here. Click on add. And I have already added actually Rhythmic before, so I have it in here. Maybe I removed it here. I have Rhythmic right here. Okay. So we'll click on Rhythmic here. If you do not see it in here, you will need to go through the level 1 Bookmap Connect here, and you'll find it available down here for install in this area here. So select it, and then you come in and add connection here, and let's take a look at it. Okay, so here's our Rhythmic connection, and add password. On a minute. You can get Rhythmic from bookmap.com. I'm sorry, from the Bookmap marketplace as well. Okay, so and that's what I did here. So I'm going to connect to paper trading, and yeah, I'll go through the plugin route here, plugin mode, which means I'll have to have the Rhythmic RTrader Pro open. Okay, and then I don't have to in this case, so but I will, and I'll just click OK. Then we'll come up to connections here, and then you can see my Rhythmic here. Actually, let me do one more thing. I'm going to go back here to my Rhythmic data, and I'm going to name it here the connection for prop trading or something like that. Right? And then we'll click OK. So now I come back to connections, and I can see this is my prop trading Rhythmic connection, and let's select it. Okay. Now I've got 3 different accounts in here through Rhythmic paper trading. I have, as you can see, 60, 60.1, and 60.2. It's asking here for my primary account selection that I want to trade into. I will select 60 and click OK. Okay, so then you'll come back down in here. Actually, hold on a minute, guys. I'm sorry, I kind of botched that a little bit. Let's try this again, and we'll disconnect. Okay, and we'll try it again, because what you need to do is you need to add in the multi-account trading add-on. Okay, I already have it here. If you don't have it, then what you need to do is you need to add it first. So open up your add-ons here, scroll all the way down, and then go to your add-ons, your manager here. Okay, and you're in now the level 1 area here. Now you'll scroll all the way down and you'll see available for install. You'll see your multi-account add-on here. Okay, you'll need to add it. Okay, now once you've added it, you should see it in here. And here it is here, right? And you can remove it here if you want, if you don't want to access anymore. All right, so I've got it, and now you should see it in your add-ons manager here. Now you need to select it, okay, and we'll select it here, and it pops up the window. I'm good to go here. All right, so I'm going to close this now. Now I'm going to go back up to Rhythmic and my prop trading, and we'll select it. And now it asks for my the account as my primary. I'll click 60 and OK. All right, and I'm all set. Okay, so I have my connection to the main account, but let's go back to the add-on here, and I'm going to click on it here, and now I'm going to add in some examples. Okay, so we'll clean it first. Want to add a bot. Okay, it's a trading bot, and what this bot will do here is, and you can add multiple bots in here. It will route orders to your various accounts. Okay, so I'm going to click on Add Bot, and then let's give it a name, and we'll call it Example 1. All right, now you can see connections rhythmic, primary account is 60. Okay, that's what I set that up earlier when I selected 60. Now I have other accounts in here. I can select either or both. And I have a multiplier here. Okay, so the multiplier for 60.1 in here, let's make it 2. So that means if I trade one lot into my primary account, it will trade 2 into the secondary account. Or if I trade 2 lots in the primary account, now it'll be 4 in the secondary account. Now the third account in here has a multiplier as well, and let's we'll put in I don't know, 3 times more. Okay, as a multiplier. So if I take one contract here, trade that in the primary account, now in the 60.2 account, it will trade 3. Right, so that's how it works. That's the trading bot. Click OK. Now you need to select it. All right, that's it. You're good to go. Now let's set some orders. You will need to open up the trade control panel. And then we're going to click on the drop down here for where we want to route the trade, and we want it to go to our rhythmic account here. Okay, so we select that and we click start, and he says you've activated the cross trading, and you will be trading into the rhythmic account. And you see I'm not even connected to the symbol up here, but it's going to route it to my trade, my account in rhythmic for ES. Right, click OK, and now we'll select trading from the chart and the DOM, and we'll select one contract here, and we'll give it a bracketed order as well. Okay, so now let's look for a pullback here, and let's go short. Okay, so we're short. Okay, one contract here. Let's go back to our add-ons manager, and just in case I get squeezed in here, I'm going to just widen these out a little bit. So let's go back to our add-ons manager, and we're going to open up our panel here, and you can see all my orders. Okay, so here they are up here. These are my open orders, and these are my working orders. Okay, you can see my 60 account here, -1. Okay, that's my position. That's my current position here as well. And then you can see my 60.1 account, I have -2. I'm short 2 contracts there. Then I'm short 3 contracts in my 60.2. Okay, so these are my open positions, and these are my open orders here. So you can see I have, for my 60, my primary, here's my stop, here's my take profit. Here's my, for the 3, I have stops and limit take profits. For the 60.1, stops and limit take profits. That's it. Okay, thing works great, and enjoy. You know, trading from the Bookmap chart, and you've got all the order flow in front of you here, so you've got quite an edge to be able to trade right from the Bookmap chart. All right, any questions on that? And I know there's a lot of guys out there using the prop trading firms, so I thought this would be really good to kind of go through the rhythmic connections and how to get up and running here. See if there's any questions over YouTube. How do you control, more of a psychological question here, how do you control your emotions on a losing position? Cut your losses in a losing day. Okay, follow your plan. Okay, so for example, right now, my plan is I'm going to get out here and take a loss up here. Okay, so maybe I just got lucky on this. I would put my stop up here, and this is where I saw the sellers come in. I'm looking for a little bit of a pullback, and I'm looking for another move back down into this liquidity here. I'm just looking for that move. That's it. Okay, now this is what we covered in the academy a little bit yesterday. So this is, I'm going to get stopped out here, but you know, what are your expectations? I'm just looking for the move down to here for right now. Okay, so into this liquidity here. That's it. Okay, I saw the sellers and then I got in. Okay, now I got in too early here. Why? How? Well, here's why. The selling came in, it hit high liquidity in here. And what do we look for when we hit high liquidity? Typically, we're looking for chop. Okay, so now we don't know, and we might hit this, we might get a little bit of a pullback, and then our continuation. Okay, now we also know here, like, we're finding some buyers in here. Okay, we traded up into where they dropped from in here, and we're actually through it now. Okay, so this is a potential, like on a smaller time frame, this would be reversal. Okay, so this is what I wanted to show, or we kind of covered a little bit. I wanted to go over more today in the order flow here. This is where the sellers came in and traded into high liquidity. We assume that there's going to be chop after that. All right, maybe we get a small little structure like this, and that's as far as the chop goes, and then maybe we get our continuation. Okay. That's kind of what I was looking for, but you know, kind of a knee-jerk reaction off of that trade. But we got our chop. Okay, now that makes things kind of tough. We know this is the range that we're looking for, and now we want to understand is what's the order flow like within that range to give us insight to where price might go next. Okay, because we traded into that area here, and now we want to understand what's happening here. Okay, so now we just avoided this big squeeze here, right, and a big loss. Okay, so you know, that's why I stop down into this area here. I am looking for this to continue back down into the range, and then maybe even break the range, right? So and maybe trade into some of these areas here. This is how you can avoid the pain profit. Okay, so and the emotions in here. This was my plan. This is what I'm looking for. Didn't do it. Okay, look for the next. Now, this is where look for the next and look for the next and look for the next. And what you just keep getting stopped out and stopped out and stopped out. Well, then you don't have an edge. Okay. Now you may have studied it. You may have an edge, and you just, this is what's happening today, and that's possible. I mean, possible. Heck, I mean, it happens all the time. Okay. Well, protect yourself with your loss limit. Okay. So you lose 300 bucks for the day or whatever it might be. You know, you have a few losers in a row. It starts to mess with your confidence. Don't mess with your confidence. Take the stop. Look for the next. Now, this is where the real magic happens, though, is you're mechanically trading your plan, but you know that you have an edge when you trade this. Okay? If you don't, then you should not be trading. So you need to go back and you need to look at some of these areas. What we just covered right in here is the same as this one right in here. Okay? It's all fractal. Okay? And you know, now if I spent a little more time looking at it in here, I would have probably thought like, wow, okay, well, we're finding buyers in here, you know, kind of equal buyers in here, maybe you know, I'm looking for this move in here. Maybe we'll chop around quite a bit, or we might find more buyers again. Okay, now we did, so we just took a quick stop and we're out. All right. So you have to know that you have an edge. Go through your studying and log it, back test it. Heck, you can just back test it very simply here right now. Here's another one, right? Then chop. After trading into high liquidity, chop. Okay, here's another one. And actually came back up a bit higher in here, and then chopped around for a while and dropped. Okay, so you know, if you're getting in a little too early, maybe wait for what happens after trading into some of these areas of high liquidity. All right. So let's see here. What else did I want to cover? Okay, so yeah, pretty back and forth. Look at this. Pretty strong buying coming in all the way up into this liquidity here, which they pulled. The majority of them pulled. They did not want to be sellers up here. But we found sellers anyway, and they came right back down and tested where these buyers broke out from. Okay, and we just traded into some liquidity here. So I would look for a bit of chop as well. All right, let's see. I think covered everything I wanted to go through. You know, that reversal pattern that we talked about is here. It is on a bit higher time frame, potential reversal. Okay, so in fact, let's see if we can trade into more liquidity down here, and then look for these buyers to come back in. Okay, so here's what we've got. We've got these clusters of buying, like, you know, starting to come in. This is not actually very good. This is a good cluster here. This isn't bad, but see how there's just more selling. Clearly just more selling, but we're starting to see some buying coming in. Okay, and we broke up here as well. So now, are we going to find buyers here? Okay, is there liquidity here? Did it trade into it? Do we find buyers starting to lift the offer in these areas here? Yeah, they're starting to. Okay, I don't see anything happening right now in this little choppy area here, but we're also seeing, look at the order book come down here. See how there's kind of stacking the order book one after another here at lower lows in here, or lower areas in here. Okay, so here comes some selling now. Okay. And let's see if we can get a squeeze going here. It's really not looking for much right now. It's just kind of in this, you know, choppy range in here. We see the order book coming down a little bit more here, but there's liquidity at these areas here, 93, 91, 90. Okay, and we're right in the middle. How do I use the imbalance indicator up in here? Yeah, you know, I look for the imbalance indicator for, yeah, just to kind of verify some of the imbalances that I see. Like right now, we should see more aggressive buyers, and there's slightly more starting to come in. It's due to it works off of your chart range. Okay, so you know, it takes all of the buying and selling in here, and then puts it into the graph here. You have a percentage, and you also have this graph. Okay, this is the center line here, so slightly more buying, selling. And you can see it in the dots, the bars. But if you can't see it in the dots and the bars, you know how you can do it is just zoom in to an area, put it into your range, like this range in here. Let's put that within the viewable range, and then now we can look at, well, who's winning in here? Well, it's pretty even, a little bit more selling than buying. Sometimes you're surprised, though. I'm surprised that maybe you see quite a bit more buying than selling. You can also look at your cumulative volume delta in here. Okay, so this one's kind of funny, a little bit of divergence here. You know, here's the swing low here, right, in the selling. We're making a equal low in cumulative volume delta, but they're not able to drop it into a lower low or an equal low here, right? So there's some divergence there, and you can see yeah, it was just a bit more buying than selling in that area. So we can see that buyers kind of came back up and retested where it dropped from here. Okay, so yeah, you've got some options expirations today for sure, Cal. Yep, good point. Pretty choppy, guys. Look at this. It's hard to kind of judge who's in control in some of these areas in here. Now the structure in here, this kind of midpoint in here, you can see this kind of gyration around it. What did we say? We said our level was about 87, right? That we were looking for. Well, here's our test. I mean, I kind of missed that. We're explaining something else, but like I missed that there. But if we take a look at our higher time frame in here, that's exactly what we were looking for, right in around here on that hourly. Okay, sellers trying to take control here. Price lower. Okay, let's see if they can make it down to 90. Liquidity right here. Pull back. Okay, anticipating some chop in here and some back and forth. Okay, we traded into some of the liquidity in here, and we see the buyer come back in and retest where they came from. I mean, you guys can see there's all sorts of things. I mean, you can potentially do in here, depending on the time frame you're trading. You know, if you're looking for you know, kind of maybe just a small move above here, and then sellers to come back down into it, then you'd be, you know, maybe looking for your sell stop here, and then trading through this area and then back down into here. Okay, so let's see if we can get that. It's just about to hit we're at the bottom of a small little range in here, which I don't like, but I'm looking for sellers to trade through it. There's some exhaustion and some selling, so let's see if they can pull it off here. Okay, and then just heck, in fact, maybe the move would just come back down to the bottom of this little range here. Anyway, some of these concepts and ideas like we're talking about can work on multiple time frames. I'm going to cancel it. It's not, that did not play out either. Scott, you have Iron Beam and Trader Workstation. Okay. So I think you got all connected, right? If you haven't, go to that learning center, Bookmap Learning Center, bookmap.com, and then click on education, and then getting connected here, or connecting to data. You'll see it in here. Okay, so for stocks and futures, you'll see TradeStation, or that, no, that's not it. No, I know we have it in here. Interactive Brokers, this one. Yeah, there you go. So watch this one here. Here, I'll put it into the chat for you. I think you're not asking for that, but I'll just put it in here anyway, since I'm there. Yeah, I think, yeah, you saw it. Okay. Of Rhythmic and DX feed. Okay, great. Well, I mean, just route your trades from Bookmap into your IB account. Okay, guys, here we're trading up into high liquidity, up into these areas in here. Okay, I'm going to look for a pullback. It's pretty strong buying right now. Okay, see if they can trade up into this liquidity here. Yeah, pretty strong buying. All right, let's take a look at this again here. Bigger picture. Our potential reversal actually starting to pan out now. Hey, can you guys can see it, right? Those clusters of buying that we started to note, but we're not out of the woods yet. Now we're getting out of the woods kind of here, and then now we're making kind of higher lows, and then we were just looking for a little pullback in here, and we didn't get it. Now we're seeing these buyers come in hand over fist. Okay, so well, not hand over fist, but there's a lot more buying coming in now. Okay, so yeah, I'm going to look for a pullback here, but now we can look for a move back up into some of these areas of liquidity here. Okay, this area looks great here structurally. This is where it broke down from. This is where we look for a nice retest back up into here. Okay, around 106. Nick, what gives you access to multiple crypto coins? Well, we have a product called Multibook that you can connect to. Let's go through an example of, yeah, you can connect to anything in there. And we're a data provider for crypto as well. So here, I'll show you. From Bookmap data in the platform here, instead of the type being futures, click on it here, and you go to perpetual or spot. And then the multi-book product in here is what I'm talking about. So with USDT, for example, you can see I'm going to connect to it, and I'm going to connect to 3 different exchanges at the same time. Okay, so but you can also see, you know, quite a few other instruments in here. We'll do that. Just connect to the multi-book here. I've got a copy of it. Subscribe. And let's take a look at maybe spot. And what do I have? See, from spot, I have all of these coins available here. Okay. So it's up to you. All right, well, look, this is what we've got on the higher time frame. This is the level we were looking for, 87. Uh, there's, a lot of different things to take a look at around that 87 level. We'll look at our, well, you can even see even on the higher time frame Bookmap in here, we have high liquidity here at 96. We trade a bit lower, and then 87 down in here. And then look at the buyers coming in now. Okay, so it looks really good, I think, to come back up into this 106 here. Okay, and same thing here. This was the level we were looking for on the hourly, and then looking for a move back up into like, yeah, we're almost there. Kind of this 106. 106 is a little higher here. Okay, maybe we can come back even up to like 113 or so. Let's go back. Okay, so yeah, that turnaround starting to unfold here. Now, one of the things that we had here for that turnaround was the the higher time frame, which is really helping us out here, our 87 level. Okay, it's really important to look at that higher time frame. For the free version, no, well, yeah, you should be able to connect to it, Nick. You get one free connection with that free version, and it's real time. Data's free, and yeah, you can try it out. Let's see the pop up into 105, 106. Okay, so again, here, high liquidity, it did transact. See the pullback, and we're getting just more buyers in here. So this is looking really good to go higher. In fact, we can just jump in, maybe put on 2, and just looking for the pop up into that area in here. We're just, this was all we got when we traded into this high liquidity here. Okay? So now we're looking for more, and here I am buying at the highs, but there's just quite a bit more buying in here. So I'm looking for them to press the top edge here. Okay, and this is more of a breakout here. Okay, another pullback. Let's see if that buying continues again. And if they don't, and I start to see sellers down in these areas in here, then I'm just going to get out. I'm looking for, I see just tons of buying up here. Okay, some stops just triggered, looking for more. Traded into high liquidity. Now you can see the liquidity game going on here now too. Traded into high liquidity, now there's even more sellers up here. Right, so maybe maybe we're not going to get through this guy here. Maybe he's completely absorbing all of that, all of this buying in here. Okay, so we're getting our move back down. And now let's see if we rotate back up with more buying. Yeah, especially we get back up above these guys here at 104, then the squeeze is on. These guys got it wrong. puke out up into our 106. Yeah, see how we see more, even more sellers up in here now, right? So he pulled, actually. This guy pulled. All right, how does our range look in here? Okay, well, these guys, you can see like same ideas. I mean, we have all of this buying over here that we're looking at. Hopefully, we don't get squeezed in here. This is where the sellers came in, and we've retested there, but we have not gotten above it here. Okay, if we can though, then all of these sellers got it wrong here, and we look for the squeeze up into our targets here. Okay, maybe this is it then. Yeah, we got to get buyers come back up now. We got to see that this be a kind of a false breakdown here, else we're out. And again, guys, this is not a trade recommendation. Yeah, we've got to get out. Not a trade recommendation. It's not a trading room. It's just to go through order flow, start to understand it. And what can we draw away from that up in here? Well, we traded up into this area here, and I was looking for the short squeeze, a really nice one, to trade through that area. We did have more liquidity starting to come in here, though. You know, we had 172, and then it traded 142, and then they came in with more right here, right at this area here. And it was just like, ooh, okay, that's not the greatest here. And we trade back up again here, and they do not even take them on here. So I was looking for maybe a rotation back down and then enough pressure to come back up and then get it here. But we did not. In fact, you can see that the squeeze is here to the downside here, 330 and another 30. So this will go back and answer a question that asked about it earlier over in YouTube. Prophet asked about it. How do you control your emotions? Yeah, this is it. It's like, yeah, this sucks, but so what? Like, I'm out. You know, how many times have we seen this work out and trade up into these areas up in here? You know, but one of the things to go back in to really help you is why did this one not work out, and do you want to change your plan based off of this? And then like what kind of insights can you get from it? You know, adding more liquidity in here and then a lack of appetite and then we saw the sellers come in here, and then, you know, exhaustion in here. Okay, that's not good either, right? So we're looking for it, but we just didn't quite get what we're looking for. So you know, that's why we got out. Sebastian, you wanted to look at the NQ. Yeah, I have it up, but I don't have the Trader Map Lite version or Trader Map Pro version of it here. So sorry about that. Yeah, Scout, please. Like this is not a trading room in here. I mean, like I mean, I hope, you know, don't base the trading off of what we're looking at. We're not looking at very specific setups. It's more about the order flow and then looking for something to follow through. Like I was mentioning earlier, if your setup is something very specific, you know, you're looking for pullback and then trading up into high liquidity and then sellers to come in, and you know, and then you're looking for the test to the bottom edge and taking some off. That's a very different way of looking at it. I just hate to, it has to be studied. You have to know you have an edge. Now it's about trade management at that point. And that trade management part is maybe where the psychology really comes in. It's like, are you going to adhere to your plan and manage it accordingly? You know, if you, not, I'm not talking about you, Scout, in general. Yeah, I appreciate your comments here. You're looking for some sort of edge, and it presents itself or it doesn't, and you take the trade or you don't, and then you manage it accordingly. And just for example, J Trader, he doesn't get very emotional. He's our stock trader on Wednesdays, and I would recommend going into there and watching him in his trading room, because he had to learn it. He was trading, or he trades small caps, and those things will rip your face off. So how did he kind of deal with that? He looks for a very high probability setup, and he cuts his losses very quickly. And then he's got a clear mind to look for the next setup, and then take it again. And if his setup isn't working time and again, well, then he's got to look at his setup. And he's got to look at his, you know, why that's not working. And then that you might have to change your setup, and that will happen. You know, edges change over time. So anyway, all right. I think we answered all your questions. Yeah, we're good to go. Yeah, thanks everybody. Hope it was helpful. And we'll meet up on Monday and go through it again. And you know, if you're interested in that Bookmap Academy, like I had mentioned earlier in the day, or earlier in the webinar here, then yeah, please, you know, please look for it here at bookmap.com. Here, I'll show you where it is. I'll put the link in here. If you want coaching and mentoring, it's all part of it. You'll need to join our Discord, and then you can also get Bookmap for free, potentially, if you go through the program and here become Bookmap Academy member. You can also get the stops and iceberg for free as well. All right. All right, guys. Well, yeah, thank you, everybody, and have a good weekend. We will catch up with you on Monday. Yep, take care. Bye-bye.